Soledar. Lots of questions about Soledar. Let me put it this way. Yes, it's a living hell there now, but first of all, Soledar has performed, is performing and will continue to perform his functions to the limit of capacity, just like any other settlement in the combat zone. Second, the Russian side, in order to reinforce one area with strength and resources, should weaken the other in the combat zone. And that is exactly what they are doing now in the Soledar area. Over the past 6 months, the Bakhmut direction, as such a location, has transformed into a full-fledged bridgehead, in terms of the intensity and scale of combat operations, dragging the enemy's colossal offensive resource into one endless meat grinder. The Bakhmut bridgehead is a black hole for the Russian occupiers and even something more devastating and fatal than the famous Chornobayevka. The resources that could have been used in the Kharkiv bridgehead, the right bank Kherson region, and in other directions were milled here. Overall, the situation in the Soledar area, as of January 11th, is exactly as it should have been. The city continues to fulfill its tactical and even strategic functions. Prigozhin, having decided to display an element of strategic genius, drove himself into a trap. To take the shabby convicts from under Bakhmut and try to massively push Soledar with this mass in order to show Putin this city as some epic achievement of the Wagner Group in 6 months of endless meat grinder, and in the end to nullify the available resources. Yes, it is in this genius of any Putin's chef who thinks he's a general. And the fact. In fact, with his reflexivity around Soledar, Prigozhin created a picture that had an informational and even moral psychological effect, and practically he is now in search. In search, not of a strong shoulder, but of a resource, to compensate for losses. Yes, again this compensation, but how else did they want? It is expected that the 4th Battalion Tactical Group from the 2nd Guard Army and the 2nd Battalion Tactical Group from the 20th Division will soon arrive at the Bakhmut parade ground. However, this will not be enough to close the issue of Bakhmut for Russian forces, and even more so, after the Prigozhin jump, these 6 battalion tactical groups will not have an effective impact. That is, in the Soledar area Prigozhin has also disrupted a promising strike on Bakhmut with conditionally fresh battalion tactical groups, the efficiency of which will now be many times less than if he had not reflexed on Soledar. And meanwhile the symbol of defeats, General Alexander Lapian was appointed by Putin as the head of the General Staff of the Ground Forces. This is a spit in the face of Prigozhin and Kadyrov, who pulled too many blankets over themselves, but did not bring the promised results. The Kremlin put the brakes on Kadyrov back around the beginning of December. Now it seems that it is the turn of Putin's cook, too. This means that the unlimited resources for Bakhmut may soon be closed. We watch, and the systematic grinding of Russian troops continues.